We're satisfied. I agree with your point that there's no chat or comment about any unfairness element here, and we are very satisfied that up to today all the lanes are very, very equal.
Good, thank you. I'll just read over the start of the women's 4 final. In lane 1 on the far side on the picture we have Korea, Eo Ye-dun, Mi-sun, Min Ye-hye and Im Yeon-seon. That is a Korean crew. Now you'll see, or hear rather, as we get into this race, that there are 4 crews in this A final. In lane 2, Germany, Mandy Immerich, Wilma Dressel, Kerstin Naumann and Christian Hölzel for Germany there. And next to them, in the middle lane there, the Australian crew of Robin Selby-Smith, Emily Martin, Pauline Fraska and Kate Hornsey, and the 4th crew and last crew in this lineup, Belarus, Natalia Horyalenka, Volha Plashkova, Tatsina Narelik and Maria Brel in the stroke seat. That's her with a ponytail and the dark glasses. They're just about to be called forward for the start. They'll be counted over by the umpire, but they're ready and waiting, and it's just a question of hitting the exact moment of that the start is due. 10:59.35 according to regatta time, so they've got 25 seconds to go. The umpire will, with practiced ease, call them over just right so that he drops the flag, the green light goes on at exactly 11 o'clock Japan time. Clean start all round, no visible problems there at all. And already you can see that the 3 European crews, Germany, Australia, the 2 European crews, Germany and Belarus, and the Australians are drawing away with Korea. I'm afraid dropped in the first 5 strokes of this race. I'll just let the race get some. You can see that Germany and Belarus are pulling ahead slightly and squeezing the Australians out of this. Now, Mike, I'm going to have to turn to you and say we've only got 4 in this event. It was an core part of the women's rowing lineup, and we used to think of the Coxless Fours as a great prize, but less and less do the top women athletes be entered in this event, and we have seen smaller and smaller numbers of competitors. What can FISA do about this?
Well, we have in our rules a provision where if we have less than 7 entries for 3 World Championships in a row, then that event is automatically dropped in the following year.
So that's, as it were, a warning to competing, or the members of the federation, members of FISA, that if they don't put forward crews, they will lose the chance to compete in that event. As we come to 500 metres, we can see that it's Germany first through the line, with Australia and Belarus very close behind, and Korea, sadly at this stage, trailing already. That's well and good. This was, as I said, an important and key component of the women's rowing programme. It's gone now. Fashion has moved on. Is it important that FISA, in order to encourage nations beyond the normal core group of nations, of which Australia, Belarus and Germany would be regarded as core members, keep some of these events going? What would we lose if it is dropped from the programme?
I think that it's really a question of demand. If there's demand in a World Championship or an event, as you said before, if you have less than 7 entries in any one year, then federations have put on notice that that event is in danger of being dropped. And then if federations really want to keep that event, then they can get together and ensure that for the next year or the following years there are more than seven entries. But we have a World Championship program which has many events, and it is not realistic to continue to hold World Championships in events which are really not demanded by the federations that we represent.
No, I quite see that. So I will reserve till later on in my broadcast a discussion of the lightweight men's 8, because of course
another very serious
the rule will change. I won't challenge you on that, because I have there You've made it quite clear what the FISA rule is,
yes.
And we will discuss that with a representative of the Australian Federation, which actually voted to reinstate the lightweight men's 8 when it had failed by this test.
That's right.
At 1,000 metres, actually Germany slipped back, and Australia have drawn out 3 seconds. It looks like more than that on the thing there, with at least half a length of open water. Germany in second place, Belarus in third place. Those three are going for fully valued, properly minted FISA medals, gold, silver and bronze. And I regret that Korea, well out of this race now, will bring up fourth but not qualify for a medal. But those three are racing for serious medals over the second half of this course. We'll come to the 8s, as I say, later on. Yeah. It's always, therefore, going to be the case that at the edge, as it were, of the World Championship programme, there will be a couple of events which are under threat from...
well, maybe. We would hope not. That we're going through a process now. The rule was introduced perhaps 5 years ago, and as you were referring to the question of the lightweight 8, that the rule which was in place with FISA up until this year was then modified at the Extraordinary Congress this year, and that has watered down that rule to a certain extent. But notwithstanding the discussion, you'll have that on that later. I think that the question of automatic exclusion of an event that doesn't have enough entries, I think will balance out the demand and the supply of these events within a certain period, and hopefully we won't have so many marginal events in future.
So we can look forward to a day when we have an absolutely chock-a-block programme right the way through, because
it has to be our objective.
We've got tremendous entries in some of the small boats. We've got 25 entries single sculls. You know, that is very serious competition, and you're doing extremely well if you make the top 6, let alone take a medal from something like that. So now, the other thing, obviously a lot of European fans of rowing have got used to seeing World Championships taking place in Europe, with occasional forays out to places like Sydney for Olympic Games. We're here in Japan. We're coming back here in 2008 for the Beijing Olympics. You're living on, I don't know whether it's polite to call it the Pacific Rim or where, but you're certainly not a European. Is the focus of world rowing shifting across around the world at the moment?
No, I think that the focus is certainly in these few years switching towards Asia. This is the first World Championship that FISA has ever held in Asia, so it's a significant point. We'll be back in Beijing in 2007 for the World Junior Championship as a test event for the Olympics, and then of course in 2008 for the Olympic Games themselves. I don't think it's a shift of focus. I think it's a part of FISA's push to really be an international federation and to involve all parts of the world.
Good. Have we seen an uplift in what you might call the local entries from into this championships?
Yeah, we have 11 Asian federations here. Out of there are 28 federations in Asia affiliated to FISA. 11 of them are here, and that's a significant improvement on any previous World Championships.
Thank you. We'll just switch now to watch a very, very nicely working Australian 4. This is out of the Australian 8. Kate Hornsey at stroke, Pauline Frasco at 3, Emily Martin at 2, and Robin Selby-Smith cross the line, take gold medals there by a very large margin over the German 4, a very young 4 this. They were in first in Junior World Championships, the stroke. Christian Hölzel and Kirsten Naumann were Junior World Champion Coxless 4 winners, and Belarus bringing up in bronze medal position, but again also a very young 4. Helpful experience for them, this. An opportunity to go on and build their 8s racing quality and experience. And in 4th place, still coming close to the finish, is the Korean crew, and is representative of those crews that probably would not have come to Europe, but have had a chance to see what it's like in real World Championship rowing.
That's the likely position. Yes.
Against. And one hopes that they won't be put off by that experience and will actually use it, build on it to come back here. So Australia first, 6:55.56. That's significantly outside the world best time set in Vienna in Austria back in '91. That also, funnily enough, is a course with a stream flowing under it, and would, under the present dispensation, probably not stand as a world best time. But we've got to start somewhere with these kind of regulations.